Hello viewers and welcome to part 6 of the Clues Cat Does Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough as per requested by Twitch viewers. More bad monotone dialogue incoming, and now where we left off, talking to somebody while investigating Camp Drybone abductions. Please help! Sister Orson went all on her own and hasn't come back. She always reads to me right here about Thal and the Order and the other side. I told her I lost my shiny thing and she went looking for it, but what if the monsters outside hurt her? Please find her. Okay. Purple circle of pain. You're the one from the church. Thank goodness you arrived when you did. It seems my gratitude is yours yet again. You spoke with the child? Yes. Well, I was able to find his lost trinket. It is a ring given to him by his mother before she passed. I will see it safely back to him. And I will return to Camp Drybone. The lazy way. Should I lazy way it? Yeah, let's lazy way it. Sister Orson was attacked outside the Golden Bazaar? God's forfend. I will secure a room at the inn for her, should she require any rest. Searching for the mementos of orphans? And risking her own well-being in the doing, no less? Certainly not the dastardly deeds Thancred would have us believe. Money. Amalj'aa, wrong places. Isambard seems to have a message for you from Thancred. I am well glad I reserved that inn room for Sister Orson. It seems she received greater injuries from her attackers than she initially let on. Thankfully, she is expected to make a full recovery. But now, onto the matter at hand. Thancred came looking for you once more. He left word that he will be waiting at the Amalj'aa encampment to the southeast. I pray the two of you are able to uncover some evidence regarding these disappearances. Okay. To the southeast. Ah, there you are, Amber. So good of you to come. Indeed, I've heard all about good Sister Orson. Isambard said her wounds were serious. It would seem my suspicions about the poor Rose were misplaced. But false though they were, perhaps my suspicions were not entirely without merit. Whilst following Sister Orson near the Gold Bazaar, a band of Amalj'aa caught my eye. I tracked them as far as this encampment, but, well, let us say that I would much prefer to keep my distance and remain here. This, of course, brings me to why I requested you, dear Amber. Would you be so kind as to take a look inside? Okay, chicken. Bark, bark, bark. Yeah, that was so hard to do. Well, did anything tickle your fancy? Yeah, this leaflet. This leaflet. See the wealth of Nall to the hands of your children. It looks to be some sort of assembly to provide the poor with work. The lettering, though, atrocious, is it not? And these bits about Nod Thal seem somewhat less than studied. I find it hard to believe one among the order penned this. Pray, take this to the inn at Camp Drybone. Let us see what Sister Orson makes of it. Guess he's gonna be lazy again. Me. My savior comes again. To what do I owe the honor this day? Was this... What is this? Blasphemous! These are not our teachings at all. This was not made by any true brother or sister of the order. Of that I can assure you. Come to think of it, weeks ago the church was plagued by missing garments. Could someone be posing as a priest of the order to deceive the people? The plot thickens, Amber. Our culprit pretends to be a priest to lend credence to his deception. There is no doubt an irony in there somewhere. But I suspect we have a trustworthy adversary in our hands. I shall consider how best to handle this. For now, tell Isambard what we have learned here. Posing as a priest? To think. These troubling notions aside, it is gratifying to finally be able to move this investigation forward. Thank you once again, Amber. I shall keep my ears and eyes open, now more than ever. Money. Dress to deceive. Isambard wants to help you identify and apprehend the false priest. I'm afraid I have not seen any unusual activity, nor have any at this camp given me cause to doubt them. But unless we can identify the culprit, and soon more innocents will fall victim. Do not despair just yet, my friend. An idea occurs to me. Our suspect has been posing as a priest, using leaflets bearing false promises to lure the poor. Let Amber and me serve like with like by posing as impoverished souls in need of succor. I dare to hope that this will yield us the answers we seek. It will be a dangerous undertaking, but you two are more capable of looking after yourselves. I'm next to useless in a battle, but I can supply the garments for the disguise. These old tunics and slops should serve your needs, so long as you don't mind the smell and the stains. These will serve very well. You have my thanks. Listen, Amber. So as to lay the foundation for our little ploy, we must make it widely known that more vagrants have arrived at camp and are desperate for coin. To this end, I want you to don the old garments Isambard has lent us and beg for work around the camp. Before long, the false priest should catch wind and approach us. Okay. Greetings, good madam. Is there aught I might assist you with? Oh, I don't believe there is. I'm afraid our wares are very expensive. Mayhap you should rejoin your fellows out at the pond north of Sandgate. I preach the teachings of Amalj'aa, the warden. Hast thou come to partake of the honey of her wisdom? Amalj'aa is keeper of the sun and goddess of inquiry. All is laid bare beneath the light of her divine countenance. Open thy heart to this light, needy child, and thou shalt not want for naught till the end of days. And you are? Huh, another refugee. By the looks of you, the immortal flames have neither work nor coin for your like. Be gone and see to it you don't make a nuisance of yourself. And I was about to get to the good part. Looking for work, you say? Sorry, but we don't have any openings. Now, get out of here so I can finish my story. What is it? Gods, not again. Look, being poor doesn't give you the right to pester whomsoever you like. Why don't you keep with your own kind out by that muddy pond of yours at Drybone? You have quite a knack for being a nuisance, Amber. The camp is abuzz with talk of newly arrived vagrants. And though we were unable to attract our wayward transgressor, we were able to learn that the poor have a commune by the pond north of Sandgate, to the east of here. The eyes of the authorities do not reach that place, rather ideal for spiriting away hapless souls. Let us go there and wait for the kindly priest to come and offer us aid and comfort. Needless to say, you'll need to remain in disguise. Okay. A fine morning for catching false priests, wouldn't you say? You look absolutely smashing, Amber, positively dressed for deception. All that's left, then, is to wait for our quarry to appear. Yep. Oh, you poor unfortunate souls. This is no way for men to live, no way at all. Who are you? What do you want? Be at ease, child, for I mean you no harm. I am a priest of the Order of Nodthal, and I come to offer you succor. This leaflet bears the teachings of Nod. Trust to them, and they will surely set you free from the shackles of penury. A tempting offer, but I'm afraid I must decline. On account of that atrocious performance, you would have made a god's awful mummer, Ungust. What? How do you know? You bastards tricked me. Please don't hurt me. I was only doing it to protect my people. Is that so? Do continue. Very well. I'm a man of the Golden Bazaar, raised there, if not born. Some moons ago, the Amalj'aa raids began. They would appear sudden as a sandstorm and plunder and pillage at will. Our defenders couldn't stand against them, few as they were. Everyone lived in fear. I wanted to save my people, but being a merchant was all I knew, and so I did the only thing a merchant could. I approached the Amalj'aa in hopes of brokering a deal. In order for sparing the Golden Bazaar, they made demands. Outrageous ones. Demands? Of what kind, pray tell? First of all, they wanted the schedule of crystal shipments for the Nanawa mines. For this, I bribed one of the workers to leak me the information. Next, they wanted me to bring them people. So, I posed as a priest to lure in the vulnerable and give them over to the Amalj'aa. I didn't have a choice. Protecting one's home is a noble thing, but at the cost of innocence? You could have sought the aid of the immortal flames, yet you did not. I suspect you are not telling me the full story. What made you sell out your own people? Speak. The was good. What did you say? The coin was good, I said. I could sell mole meat for the score of lifetimes and not see even a fraction of what the Amalj'aa pay me. You sacrifice innocence so that you could line your own pockets? Words fail to express the contempt I feel for you. Spare me your contempt. If you want to blame someone for the mess the world's in, then blame yourselves or the gods. Ah, not you again. Were you the one leaking the immortal flames' patrol routes to the enemy as well? Spit it out. No, I know nothing of that, I swear it. At this stage, I'm rather disinclined to believe aught that leaves your mouth, but no matter, there'll be time enough to learn the truth. Amber, be a dear and take word of these developments to Minfilia, would you? Okay. I shall prize everything I can out of this filth. The abductees are still somewhere out there. Our foremost priority is to rescue them. Pray return to the Waking Sands? Yep. Thank you, Vesper Bay tickets. Welcome back, Amber. I am pleased that you and Thancred have been getting along. I see, you have done well to uncover the truth. My thanks for this report. As Thancred said, we must ascertain where the abducted were taken, and none but the Amalj'aa know the answer. Suffice it to say, they will not willingly part with this information. I fear blood will be spilled before all is said and done. Yay. Life, materia, and everything. Minfilia would like you to meet a distinguished individual. Though we seek a peaceful solution to the primal problem, we must needs be ready to fight for our cause. That you might take to the field suitably prepared, I would have you meet with a goblin acquaintance of mine. His name is Mutamix Bubblypots, and he is a scholar of no small repute. Mutamix is renowned for having introduced a revolutionary method of enhancing equipment to Eorzea. The knowledge of this method was once a closely guarded secret, but thanks to Mutamix and his students, it has now been disseminated to the great benefit of all the realm. It would serve you well to acquire an understanding of the process. For this purpose, I shall lend you a blade, take it to Mutamix, and bid him use it to demonstrate his craft to you. Mutamix is ever to be found at his camp in central Thanalin, a place known as the Bonfire. Look for a pillar of smoke, and the way will become clear. Okay, teleport to Blackbrush Station. And then it's north and a little east. I just want to get my chocobo. Psh! Who is Uplander come to tend to ring of Mutamix bubbly pots? A dagger. Teach me stuff. Fighty tool drinks in air self. When full of airy self, Fighty tool changes to stony shine, name of materia. If materia join with other Fighty tool, then big eyes. Fighty tool gains power of airy self. Mutamix is reckoning that Uplander is a friend of Minfilia. Yes. Tongue flaps reach ears of Mutamix with fastness. Minfilia wants Uplander to see power of materia. Uplander brings Fighty tool to Mutamix, yes? Fighty tool is unstrong as eating tool. Make good teachy show of power of materia. The materia, master. Now eyes of Uplander point at Fighty tool, yes? Materia join with Fighty tool. Fighty tool gains power of materia. Fighty tool reborn. Here, Uplander take Fighty tool to Minfilia. Materia, strictly speaking, is a kind of crystal. It is created by drawing out the etheric constituents from a piece of equipment and then crystallizing them. Not just any old equipment will serve, mind you. It must have sufficient spirit bond, that being a measure of how fully an item has been imbued with its owner's spirit. When you attach a piece of materia to gear, you imbue the host item with its power. That's how Master Mutamix turned that Dago yours from Summit, as would have struggled to cut stake into a weapon worth wielding. Uplander wishes to be joiner of materia? Then Uplander best fill brain case with knowings of crafty making. With knowings of crafty making, Uplander can become joiner of materia. If Uplander wants brain case to rattle with knowings of materia, Uplander best trade tongue flaps with learning ones of Mutamix. Yeah, I'll do that later. I have to go back to Minfilia. Vesper Bathe, or I take it. Welcome back, Amber. I trust your visit to the bonfire proved fruitful. Yeah. Here's your pokey-stabby thing. Ah, what a remarkable difference a single piece of materia can make. Granted, the skills needed to manipulate the substances are not easily acquired, but one need only look upon the results to realize such efforts are worthwhile. As I am sure you are aware, the quality of one's equipment can be the difference between victory and defeat. Materia may well give you the edge you need, Amber, so make it your ally. Now it is time we discuss the matter of your next mission. Pray speak with me when you are ready to begin. Okay. Lord of the Inferno, Minfilia would like you to assist the Immortal Flames. Word has arrived from Thancred concerning our ongoing investigation. It appears he was able to extract some information from our friend Ungust, the false priest. He revealed that he is due to meet with the Amalj'aa to discuss their dealings. The immortal flames believe that the meeting will present an ideal opportunity to ambush and capture the Amalj'aa responsible for the abductions, and so they mean to have Ungust attend as planned. As the Amalj'aa are anticipated to offer fierce resistance, the immortal flames have requested our support. I would have you provide it to them, Amber. Thancred is presently attending to another matter, but will join you as soon as he is able. Until such time as he does, you will be the Scion's sole representative on the ground. Before he left, he bade me to tell you to save some for him. Such is his confidence in you, a confidence I share. When you have made ready, pray take yourself to Camp Drybone and report to the Flame Sergeant leading the mission. May you walk in the light of the crystal. Teleport time. Ah, you're Amber of the Scions. My thanks for coming, friend. We're stronger for your assistance. Allow me to brief you on our mission. Our objective is to capture Amalj'aa and prize from them the whereabouts of the abductees. The lizard men aren't aware that their man, Ungust, has been exposed. When they come to the rendezvous point to meet the traitor, we'll spring the trap. Owing to the clandestine nature of the mission, we can deploy only a small contingent. Every member must count, and so we requested the aid of the Scions. The rendezvous will take place at the Invisible City. Please make your way there and lay in wait. We stand to learn much and more of the Amalj'aa plot if the mission succeeds, Amber. Let's make sure it does. Okay. What the hell? Let's do it as the Lance. Dragoon time. I will tank the floor. Is a bait in place? Our man is in position, sir. Good. We make our move as soon as the Amalj'aa appear. Yes, sir. Ah! What is the meaning of this? Wait, something's amiss. Hee hee hee. Ha ha ha. I'm afraid your little ambush ends here. I eluded the Immortal Flame's clutches for moons before finally being caught. Did you not wonder how I managed it? 'Twas almost as if someone was feeding him information from the inside. Aye, your every movement was known to me ahead of time. Now, as much as I'd love to chat a while, I have appointments to keep. They're all yours. Put up your weapon, or your comrade's a dead man. Behind you! Bring her. The rest of you, march. Traitorous scum. I fear the Amalj'aa mean to give us to their god as an offering. If I must die, then let me die a soldier's death with steel in hand. Let's see if healer gets me a quick cue. And I had to go tank instead. Lord in Inferno, hearken to our plea. Lord in Inferno, deliver us from our misery. Almighty Ifrit, Lord of the Inferno, your humble servants beseech you, grace us with your divine presence. Almighty Ifrit, we bring before you ignorant savages who know not your godhead. If it please you, Lord, scorch their heathen souls with your cleansing flame and mark them as your own. Bloody hells. Bring those two as well. What's going on? This ain't what we agreed. None but servants of Lord Ifrit may behold the rite of summoning. The souls of unbelievers are forfeit. No, spare me, I beg you. Pitiful children of man, and by my breath I claim you. Arise once more as my loyal minions, feed my flames with your faith, and all who stand against us shall burn. Almighty Ifrit, my one true God, your words are my bread. Impossible. By what sorcery do you resist my master's will? Could it be? Your soul already belongs to another? Yes, that is the only explanation. Forsooth, thy frail mortal frame can serve as vessel to the blessing of but one. Yet I smell not the taint of another upon thee. The truth of thine allegiance waxeth clear, thou art of the godless blessed's number. The paragons warned of thine abhorrent kind, thine existence is not to be suffered. Now, if you're a tank and you're pulling this, you want to try and sprint or try to get to the other side, because the first thing he does is do a fan of flame in front of him as his first attack. And intermittently, he will do a knockback to everyone in the area around him, so you may want to bring him close to the edge. And if you're ranged, try to stay at range to him. He will target one of the non-tanks with this thing underneath them called eruption, and when you see this red webbing go underneath someone, that means it's about to erupt them. They need to move and make sure you're not standing there either, because you'll take fire damage. After a certain amount, he will drop something called a nail. You need to kill the nail. If the nail is up when he does this move, it hurts. It goes big ouch. Then he'll do these. He'll do ones near him, and then he'll do ones on the outer edge. Other than that, it's pretty much will just a rinse and repeat, except for the spike that only happens once during normal mode. Pray forgive my lateness. I was delayed by a congregation of Amalj'aa zealots. I swear, each seemed more evangelical than the last. Persistent lot. Phew. I see the Bloodsworn wasted no time extracting the captives, no less than I'd expect from the Flame General's hand-picked men. As for those two, it's fair to say their hardship have only just begun. They have much to answer for. I feel I owe you an apology, Amber. Had I known this mission would prove so dangerous, I would never have left you to face it alone. You have been given a veritable baptism of fire. Yeah. But let us continue this conversation in more agreeable surrounds. Camp Drybone, shall we? Say? This way, sir. So that was the mighty Ifrit. And what a disappointment he was. The readings are nowhere near what I had anticipated, even taking Ul'dahn interference into account. You should know better than to rely upon 5-year-old data left by the 7th Legion. Nor can we expect any form of support from the motherland, given the troubles at court. We have only ourselves to rely upon. Ever the pessimist, my dear Livia. Promise me you'll never change. We've wasted enough time here. That meter of yours is too old to give any reading worth a damn. Not that there was aught worth a damn for it to read, but I take your point. I suppose we must content ourselves with the knowledge that we've achieved our primary objective. Yet I find that I am troubled by that adventure's unexpected show of strength. Could such a foe prove a hindrance to our plans? Perhaps, but that is a consideration for another time. You have been given a task, that is your priority. I suggest you treat it as such. Fail to do as my lord commands, and I will spare him the trouble of punishing you. With allies like that, beware a woman in love. I shall need to be on my best behavior. Ah, there you are, Amber. Come, rest a while. You will have no better opportunity. After witnessing their god's ignominious defeat, the Amalj'aa will be less inclined to risk our wrath, for a time at least. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, I was in the process of apologizing. I do hope you can forgive me. I arrived too late to be of any use to you or the abductees. They may be whole of body, but the same cannot be said of their minds, for once a man is tempered. But it ill suits me to dwell on the negatives. Amidst all our misfortunes, there is still reason to rejoice. Ifrit is slain, and by your hand, no less. That is the deed of no ordinary individual, Amber. Not that I ever thought you were ordinary. On the contrary, I have long suspected that you have the potential to shape the fate of this realm. What can I say? My fine eye for talent remains undimmed. Minfilia will be proud beyond all reckoning when she hears of your deeds. I trust you shan't object to my bearing the tidings to her? That way I can claim to have contributed something to this mission. You, meanwhile, have earned yourself a rest. Take some time to relax and return to the waking sands when you are good and ready. We can discuss matters in more detail then. Just don't take too long, will you? The realm's problems won't solve themselves. Okay. Either way, tickets. Ah, the triumphant hero returns. Thancred told us news upon his arrival. He is presently in the Solar, giving a full report to Lady Minfilia. You should join them at once. Lady Minfilia is most eager to see you. My late arrival nearly cost Amber her life. I wasn't there when the Amalj'aa took her prisoner. And I wasn't there when they served her to Ifrit. Yes, by some miracle she has survived, but that does not excuse the fact that she should never have had to face such dangers alone. I failed her utterly, just as I'm failing you all. What's done is done, Thancred. You can ill blame yourself for every... Amber, it is good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I had just finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Thancred has told me everything. You have done well to return to us. The perils you faced were undeniably great, yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear, and now we can put paid to our long investigation. As we suspected, the Amalj'aa undertook both the robbery and the abductions with the aim of summoning their primal Ifrit. Nor is this tale limited to Ul'dah. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa and Gridania of late. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume ether if they are to maintain their presence here, and the stronger they become, the more ether they require. Now, ether exists throughout creation. It flows through all life, and permeates the very air that we breathe. Alas, this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require a more concentrated source of ether: crystals. It is for this reason that incidents involving crystals can often be traced back to a primal. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of ether. However, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out for their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon toward which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together, or etheric coalescence, which grants the being's physical form. Once born, a primal gains strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give, and in order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Yet even as Ifrit took your comrades in his thrall, you alone remained unaffected. This is thanks to the power you possess, the Echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the Echo are immune to primal influence. It is as though a greater power protects us all. When first you came to us, I told you that the Echo would be instrumental in dealing with a primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. The recent incidents all share a common trait, a meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concern, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return. The immortal flames assured me that they will deal with the aftermath, so you need only concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a time. I suggest you take full advantage of the respite, Amber. You may be sure it won't last long. Once the people learn the identity of the hero who felled Ifrit, I fear you will have nary a moment to yourself. Whether she intended to or no, Minfilia neglected to tell you something. Something I think it would be best you heard from one of us. It concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. I'm sorry to report that all are to be put to death, the flames with whom you were imprisoned included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. I swear to you that we would not do this if there were any other recourse, but once a man is tempered, he is tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal whom he cannot choose but worship. And so we Scions continue our fight, that no more innocents need be sacrificed. I hope that you will continue to stand with us, Amber. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the losses his people suffered. Till next time. Gods forgive me, how many more lives? Louisa would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger. A hero in the making. Minfilia is wearing a wry smile. Might it have something to do with your newfound fame? Until not so very long ago, you were but one of the many adventurers seeking to make their way in Eorzea. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter, you traveled the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Y'shtola that the Scions would benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us that you personally bested the primal Ifrit. You have achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in doing so. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. We have guests, Amber, or rather, you have guests. Beg pardons. Ah, Lady Minfilia, radiant as always. I am given to understand that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero in their midst. I am here on behalf of the Maelstrom Grand Company of Limsa to offer said hero a place of honor within our ranks. As you can see, Amber, your recent exploits have garnered you the attentions of the Grand Companies of Eorzea. Each organization would have Ifrit's bane for its own. To this end, all three have sent officers to court you. They would not ordinarily go to such lengths to enlist a new recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard for you. I find myself wondering how word of Amber's deeds spread so quickly, that the immortal flame should know if her triumph is to be expected, but what of the other grand companies? Eep! Your reputation precedes you, mistress. 'Tis no ordinary woman who can face a primal and emerge the victor. The Order of the Twin Adder has need of valiant women such as you. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us ensure that peace ever reigns over the Twelveswood. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, mistress. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. A woman of your talent belongs with the immortal flames. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us secure a prosperous future for Ul'dah. The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you have the look of a hero. Full often does she speak of you, friend. As do many others in Limsa. Long before the rest of Eorzea took note, your name was well known to us, owing to your valorous deeds on behalf of our citizens. It is only natural that we should want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strength to ours, and together let us see the grand vessel of Limsa to the shores of glory. Lady Minfilia. Very well. Though I am quite sure you need no reminding, mayhap a brief summary of the situation would help you clarify your thoughts on the matter. As you know, the Grand Companies are all-encompassing organization empowered to call upon the martial, economic, and technological resources of their respective city-states in time of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Eorzea: the Maelstrom of Limsa, the Order of the Twin Adder of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ul'dah. Serving a Grand Company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You will be charged with its defense and tasked with advancing its cause. In return for your faithful service, you will be furnished with various rewards, some of which may well prove useful to you in your other endeavors. If you are agonizing over which of the Grand Companies best deserves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day may not be permanent. Should you wish to shift your allegiance at a later date, you are entitled to do so, and yet I concede that it is no small choice you face. Ah, a thought occurs to me. You will, of course, recall that 3 city-states are planning to hold remembrance services. Well, as part of the proceedings, I am given to understand that the leaders of each grand company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses ought to help you make an informed decision. What say you, my dear officers? A fine suggestion. You are wise as you are beautiful, my lady. Very well, let Amber hear our leader speak, then return here with her decision. We eagerly await your answer. Poor Tataru. I know full well what adventurers are by their nature, liberty-loving breed, and not best suited to the discipline of military service, but I strongly urge you to join a grand company nonetheless. While the promised reward is enticing in itself, it is not the only benefit, and in fact you cannot progress the MSQ without it. You are possessed of great power, Amber, and with it you are capable of doing untold good. Yet know that great power is wont to attract attention, not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs be on the lookout for them. Yet, however vigilant you are but one woman. In the midst of a grand company, however, you will be one woman amongst many, a friend amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will the danger. I can think of no better arrangement. Of course, joining one organization need not mean leaving another. I hope that we can continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know that we will have need of it in the days ahead. The Grand Company seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of Eorzea as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, I expect that you will be afield more often in the future. As such, I would have you carry this Link Pro with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch, regardless of location. Eorzea is changing, Amber, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now it is time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak to Tataru. She will apprise you as to where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. I'm sorry about the attention you're getting, Amber. I might have sung your praises a little too loudly and often. To a few too many people. Next time, I'll be sure to hold my tongue, literally, if necessary. Anyway, I expect you want to know where and when the remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Gridania's second company, the Order of the Twin Adder, will hold the first of the 3 services, and its Elder Seed Seer, Connie Senna, will deliver her addresses to the Miketos Amphitheater. I should probably mention at this point that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all of the involved parties, it's possible that the order of the services might change. Still, there's not much we can do about that, so make Gridania your first port of call. Next, you'll need to go to Ul'dah, where Flame General Roban Alden will be addressing the masses at the Royal Promenade. Oh, and it's rumored there's to be a special guest. How exciting! Last but not least, you must make your way to the stateroom in Limsa Lominsa, where Maelstrom Chief Admiral Merweb will be giving her address. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the sentry Xanthael, and he will admit you. Got all that? Well, off you go then. I hope you find the remembrance services suitably educational. I suggest visiting the city-states in my prescribed order, though with your record of impeccable timing and luck, the schedule may well change in favor of your preferred travel plans. Farewell. You got that right. Since I'm in Ul'dah, the area of Thanla, yeah, we're going to Ul'dah first. Let's go to where the things are cheap, huh?
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanimal herself!
And Drybone as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore! Hurrah! Drybone! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold, where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalj'aa wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Ya for Ul'dah!
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Drybone? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanimo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the Inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth?
The time is now!
If you'll permit me, Alfie no, and my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
The Ul'daans have a long history of conflict with the Amalj'aa, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. The Ul'daans do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. And so they have dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flame each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalj'aa are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Ul'daans send their forces to smite the primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, that the immortal flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventure of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. And there's one for Ul'dah done. And next we're going to go to where my return is, which is Limsa. So I'm completely screwing up Taru's order on this. Oh right, it's this way. Never mind. Here to attend the remembrance service. Be quick, the Admiral will do is give her address at any moment. Okay.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. 700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The Crimson Field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the Black Longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom Standard, and our Grand Company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners. And together, we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin
bastards!
have risen?
While the mines of Ogomero spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
Admiral Melvin!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass? I'll follow ye to the 7 hells, Admiral!
Fancy meeting you again.
As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsa is plagued by 2 beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sahagin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribes present weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Lominsa's backyard. And that is to say aught of infernal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions, and while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. If the Lominsas are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. But will you sail with the Admiral? Gridania next.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelves Wood. Fearful of the green wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seed Seer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelves Wood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. 5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the XIV have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk the high roads without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children!
Woods will be done!
It's up to us to protect the forest!
All the elementals!
Fancy meeting you again.
The Gridanians are unfortunate enough to have a content with 2 beast tribes. The XIV are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition, and want to summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians, until recently at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the same time they summon the primal Ramu. The Gridanians have no love of war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the XIV ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. The Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elementals, will put an end to their woes. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to all-out war, and when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them, then? And throughout all of these things, if you listen very closely, you can hear the same voice actors as the major characters throughout all of them. Amber, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service has now concluded? A moment ago, you say. What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies? Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. Pray use your tickets and return to the Waking Sands. Welcome back, Amber. Were the Grand Company leaders' words as illuminating as you had hoped? Aye, each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in such demand. Would that there were more of you, Amber. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer.
The gods only know what grand company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alize, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, The task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
Okay, normally I would love to go for Serpent, because beautiful city, and they're the ones that seem to have less of a stick up their butt. However, their Grand Company turn-ins are far from everything. Next would be Limza, they're okay, but pirate stuff, no thanks. So I'm gonna go with Flame, because they have a decently laid out city. Welcome back, adventurer. I take it General Robon's word kindled a fire within you. Yeah, I guess kind of. Excellent. I fear that the incident with the traitor may have soured your opinion of us. It gladdens me to see that isn't the case. But before we can count you one of our own, you must be formally inducted into our ranks. The company you keep, Immortal Flames. The Immortal Flames recruitment officer seems eager to welcome you to Uldah's Grand Company. Please proceed to the Hall of Flames on Uldah's merchant strip and identify yourself to the personnel officer. I will notify him of your coming. Okay. With your strength joined to ours, we shall surely prevail over our enemies, be they beastmen or Imperials. Hall of Flames. Uldah. Here we go. Ghetto Smurf. What brings you to the Hall of Flames this evening, adventurer? I'm here to enlist if you'll have me. Is that so? Well then, I must ask you for your name. But let me guess. It is Amber, is it not? Yes, you are just as our man at the Waking Sands described. Thank you for electing to join us. Now, in order to formalize your cert... Speak, Private. Imperial Sir, they fired on a high-wind Skyways airship. Scouts say she's coming down to the west near Horizon's Edge. Bloody hells, of all the times for this to happen. Amber, there's no time for formalities. The Immortal Flames needs your help now. We're in the midst of a large-scale operation against the Amalj'aa, and we have no one to spare in Western Thenelin. You must go to that ship before the Garleans do. If there are any survivors, see that they do not come to further harm. Now go. Okay. Technically, I should teleport there, but what the heck? Let's take the scenic route. Chocoporter. Hey, look, it's your boyfriend. I didn't order a bun boy though. Sorry. I want to be lazy. But I also want to be cheap. Take me to Horizon. Solo duty. An adventurer? What are you doing here? No, wait. Let's find some cover first. The Immortal Flame sent you? How do I know you're not an Imperial spy? You don't even have a uniform. Are you alright, sir? Our scouts reported the attack on your craft. We've come to rescue you. Amber, yes? Glad to have you with us. I have not seen a craft of this design before. That traitor Garland has been busy. The secrets of Magitek are ours by right. They are not to be squandered upon the savages of this land. We are taking this craft back to the fortress. Dismantle it if you must, and bring the engineer. Someone must pay for Garland's crimes. The mean to take the ship back to Castrum Meridianum, along with your friend. Wedge, you have to help him. That fool of a Lullafil was hiding inside the tiny Bronco. Nice looking shift, though not the best place to have taken shelter, I agree. It's the first airship we've built since the Calamity, the first since Master Garland, well, since he went missing. After years of work, she was finally ready for her first test flight, and she was soaring, she really was, till those bastards blasted her out of the sky. We attack on my command, kill them quickly, and save the Lullafil if possible. Is that clear, Amber? Okay. Show them what becomes of those who play with fire. Charge! I will poke them with my two-pronged fork. We're under attack! 2 arms! fork. Go, magic fork. Biggs. Wedge, you shouldn't have stayed with the ship. That was a close one. Too damn close. So, how's she look, anyway? The auxiliary propeller is a dead loss, but I think we can wring enough thrust from the main propeller to get us airborne. A few minor modifications, and we should be able to fly the tiny Bronco home. The Imperials will come looking for their scouts, but we can defend this position until the engineers leave. You should go, Amber. You still have unfinished business to attend to at the Hall of Flames. You're not quite one of us yet, though anyone who'd seen you in action today would be forgiven for thinking otherwise. I, just wanted to say sorry, for calling you an Imperial spy and all that. Got that one wrong, didn't I? Haha. Seriously, though, if it hadn't been for you and the Immortal Flames, lads, we'd be chained up in a dungeon by now. I'm in your debt, friend. We both are. Wedge. Thank you. We're very grateful. Sorry, I can't change my voice to sound like a Lullafell. I lack helium. Welcome back, Amber. Word of your deeds in the field reached me not long ago. Exemplary service. Rest assured that the Garland Iron Works engineers are fine. They were able to get their vessel back in the air before Imperial reinforcements arrived. Your willingness to assist us in such short notice should be commended. Clearly, your reputation is well-deserved. Now then, I believe we have some unfinished business. Shall we continue from where we left off and induct you into the Immortal Flames? Yes, let's complete. For coin and country. The personnel officer stands ready to complete your induction into the ranks. Are you ready, Amber? Then let us begin. Amber, you stand poised to enter a sacred trust. The flames of Ul'dah burn bright, casting light where there is dark and purging evil wheresoever it lurks. We are ever ready to meet the nation's enemies in battles, be they beastmen, Garleans, or worse. And at a word from Flame General Roban Alden, we would gladly lay down our lives to maintain the peace and prosperity of Ul'dah. To join our ranks, you must forsake all other nations. Only then may you commit yourself to the fire and be reborn as an immortal flame. Born as one of us, Amber, and together we shall chase the darkness from Ul'dah. Will you swear an oath to mark this occasion? My sword belongs to Ul'dah. Spoken like a soldier. You'll do well here. Very well, your resolve is plain, Amber. I hereby confer upon you the rank of a Flame Private 3rd Class. Welcome to the Immortal Flames, Private. May you fight to the last for coin and country. Can you hear me, Amber? This is Minfilia. An officer of the Immortal Flames contacted me with news of your enlistment. My congratulations, Private. I have no doubt that you're eager to make the acquaintance of your new comrades, but I would ask that you pay a visit to your old ones first. Remember, though you are now a Flame of Ul'dah, you are no less a scion. Pray return to the Waking Sands at your earliest convenience. There are some friends here whom I would very much like you to meet. We shall be waiting. It seems your presence is required elsewhere. But before you leave, perhaps you could find a moment to speak with Commander Swift. He is not one to see new recruits go into the field unprepared. He's literally right next to us. He can hear what we're saying. Go speak to him. You can be whatever you decide your avatar to be. Let's see. My little chocobo. Swift believes you should get yourself a chocobo. So do I. Private? Yes, a moment of your time, if you please. You wish to carry out your duties swiftly, do you not? Well then, perhaps you should get yourself a chocobo. If you're interested, the Immortal Flames will furnish you with one. It's not a complex process, but it does require some paperwork. First, speak with the quartermaster to obtain a Flame Chocobo issuance. You'll need to exchange company seals in order to do so. Once you've received your issuance, show it to Mimigun by the Gate of Nald. He'll be the one to furnish you with a verb. Okay, one little thing. I need to get seals. Now, normally this would be done by grinding fates, but screw that. You see, while I've been going around to all the city-states, I have been picking up all the stuff, like every single class I can pick up. Crafters and gatherers alike. So I'm going to do Control-Shift-U, Mission Allowance. These are all the things that I can turn in. Now, some of this stuff all this stuff can be crafted. Some of it can be bought from markets or vendors. Maple clogs cannot be gotten from a vendor, unfortunately. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to purchase some of this stuff. So let's see, we have Okay, now I need to look up challenge logs. FF14. Rising to the challenge. Do I already have that? So that is in Limsa. So we're going to go to Limsa real quick then. Because that way my Grand Company turn-ins will give me... be met with a weekly challenge, which will give me bonus. Bonus Grand Company seals. Which will help me not only get my chocobo issuance, but a rank up. Well, it might be able to help me get a rank up. We'll see. There we go. Challenge log done. Back to Ulda. And now the challenge log will say under Grand Company. Just have to turn in 5 things and I get 1,000. Turn in 10 things and I get 1,000 more. Woohoo. That's on top of whatever what I'm turning in gives. Okay, clogs. Yes. Yep. I'll also get some nice levels. Okay, there we go. Material. Flame chocobo issuance. So there we go. Let's go get my chocobo! By the Adventurers Guild. Yep, here you go. Yes, everything appears to be in order. Moment, please. I'll be right back with your chocobo. And here he is. The fellow has been in high spirits the past few vels. He must have sensed that his master was coming. Now then, to make it official, you want to give your noble steed a name. Let's see. KFC, no clucks given, so many things. However, my last name in here is Virgil. Yeah, last name is Virgil, so the chocobo has to be Yamato because the Yamato is Virgil's companion. Anyway, let's call it here for now. Thank you for joining me for another episode of my Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough. I hope it was enjoyable, aside from my poor job at voice acting. As always, feel free to give feedback in the comments below or just to say hi. I may not respond, but I do read all my comments. Feel free to follow the links to my socials below and drop by Twitch to say hi. Tap that subscribe button if you want to see what I'm up to on YouTube. And as always, thanks for watching. I hope you all take care. I hope to see you guys for the next video. And until then, stay safe and ciao.